welcome back to Gracie May's Tarot. I know it's been a while, so I wanted to give you guys a little bit of a life update because it's been a minute, more than a minute, since I filmed a reading. So if you missed my community post a while ago, I am pregnant. Right now I'm about 14 weeks, a little over 14 weeks. And yeah, I'm very excited. I'm going to be having a boy. We did one of the blood tests, so I haven't actually had my anatomy scan. That will actually be the day after New Year's. But from my understanding, like the blood tests are pretty accurate. So like 96% or 97% sure that I'm having a boy. We're thinking right now that we're gonna name him Mason, but we're not entirely sure yet. I'm committed to that name. It just felt right. I don't know, when I found out I was having a boy, that name just came to me and it just felt right. But I haven't entirely convinced my husband yet, but it just felt right. I also got married, which is crazy. Like the next time I film a future spouse reading, I'm gonna be married. Like that's wild. Definitely wasn't expecting that. But yeah, it's been a lot. It's been a lot. And honestly, the first trimester for me, the biggest thing was feeling so tired. Now that I'm in my second trimester, I feel like my energy is coming back, but I would literally, like, I would just come home from work and just lay down on my heating pad and stay there. And I haven't even, like, I love to read books. I haven't even been reading at all. I don't know, I just felt like I couldn't focus, I couldn't concentrate, and I was so tired. And, you know, my work was so demanding, and I was there from 8 to 5. And then wouldn't always get a lunch break, very rare to get a lunch break. And then you're kind of just expected to stay late. That's just kind of the culture there. And so it was demanding. It was very demanding. And so I'm very grateful that my energy is coming back. I've already filmed all the readings, so I don't know if I've already said my voice is hoarse, but if it sounds like I'm struggling to talk, it's because I haven't filmed in a while, and this reading was a little bit longer. But I'll get back into the habit of it. I'll get back into the swing of things. But I'm very grateful to have the energy to sit down and film a reading and feel proud of it, because I mean, for a long time I was like, I don't want to film a reading just for the sake of it and feel this fuzzy in my brain and feel like I'm this tired and I'm this depleted, and I don't want this to ever be something that I half-heartedly do, you know, and I don't want this to ever be something that feels like, I don't know, like I don't want to come on here and film just for the sake of filming. I want to make sure that when I'm filming, I'm connected and I'm doing you guys a good service, because if I'm feeling fuzzy and unfocused and I can't concentrate, I'm not going to be channeling accurately, right? So I don't ever want to, you know, put out a reading that's not something that I feel is accurate and good and meaningful, you know? So I just wasn't in a place to film, and it feels really good to film again. I missed it a lot, and I'm very grateful, like I said, that I'm able to do this now. And yeah, I mean, it's been an adjustment, you know, like I'm going through a lot of changes, and this is my first pregnancy. And so it's been a lot to adjust to, but I know it's all going to be worth it, and I'm incredibly grateful because I wanted to be a mom, you know, for a long time now. And so, yeah, it's been a lot, but it's been very good. And I'll definitely keep you guys updated throughout the process. And if I remember to, I'll put some ultrasound pictures at the end of the reading. Also give you some cat pictures to update. But yeah, I just wanted to do like a quick check-in with you guys and let you know what's going on. Because like I said, I know it's been a while. My husband's been reminding me. He's like, it's been like 2 months, you know? I'm like, yeah, I don't think I've ever taken so long before, and I never imagined I would. And that just goes to show like how we can plan and think like, oh, I would never take off more than a month from filming. And then life happens, you know, and you have to be flexible. So yeah, I apologize for the silence, but I just felt like it was, I don't know, I guess irresponsible to film when I was feeling that way. Because like I said, you know, if I feel like the reading's not accurate, if I feel like I'm not connected, like how can I be connected to spirit and channel messages for you guys when I feel disconnected for myself, you know? And that was, you know, the space that I was in. And a lot of that was work stress too. A lot of that was work stress and being pregnant and trying to adjust to all that, and all the things that come with pregnancy. And I mean, to be honest, you know, having an employer that isn't really providing a supportive environment or doesn't really understand that people have lives outside of work, you know, that expects you to work 9 hours straight and more, you know, it just wasn't conducive to, you know, me being able to have a side project like this. So anyway, yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this reading. Please give me some grace, you know, if I was a little rusty in any way. I feel like the filming went really well though. I'm happy. Definitely going to try to get the editing done tomorrow, if not tonight. And so this video should upload Monday the 27th, because I don't like to upload on a weekend if I can help it. But anyway, I felt good too to start with the monthly prediction. But please put in the comments any life updates that you all have gone through. And yeah, I'm excited. Also, I think it would be cool in the comment section to see what you guys are hoping for 2024. Like, what are you happy to wrap up in 2023 and what you're looking forward to next year? I'm obviously looking forward to my baby being born. So the due date is supposed to be at the end of May. They told me the 21st and then they told me the 24th. But yeah, so it's going to be May. Gonna have a Gemini baby, which I'm really excited about because my moon's in Gemini. But yeah, you guys know I'll be doing the birth chart once my baby's born. But yeah, so I'm wishing you all the very best. I hope you enjoy this reading and thank you for spending some time with me. Take care. Hey Group 1, welcome to your December 2023 prediction. It's been so long. I'm so excited to get back to filming. So for you all, we have the 7 of Canes or the 7 of Swords. We have the Sun, we have the Page of Candles or the Page of Wands. We have the Page of Canes or the Page of Swords. We have the Holly King, which is the Emperor in this deck. We have the 8 of Good Cheer or the 8 of Cups. We have the Queen of Good Cheer, also the Queen of Cups, and we have the 4 of Gifts or the 4 of Pentacles. Okay. Also, for those of you who are curious, I'll have the decks listed in the description box, but this tarot deck that I'm using is this Yuletide Tarot. Okay. And Gracie is already making some noise. Tink, tink. Come here. You guys hear her fussing at me? Okay, so right away, December is going to be a very pivotal month for my Group 1s. And I have to say, my heart really goes out to you because with the 7 of Swords here, you know, typically with the 7 of Swords, we think of deceit, right? We think of someone having to lie or be deceptive, someone who is just out to serve themselves. But the energy that I'm getting from this card in this deck is more of like, you've had to gather up sort of almost like the best you can make out of a situation. It feels like, especially with the 8 of Cups being here, and you may still be contemplating this. For others of you, you've actually taken action on this. You know, everyone's on a slightly different timeline, but basically what I'm seeing here is that you've had to gather up everything that you could and just kind of cut your losses. You know, like you've bitten your tongue long enough, or, you know, you've taken and dealt with something that was just very challenging, right? And for whatever reason, you weren't able to speak up, you weren't able to advocate for yourself, you weren't able to, you know, kind of assert your own needs for whatever reason. And so you kind of just had to gather up, you know, everything that you could from that situation, like just learn your lesson from it, whatever the lesson was meant to be, or, you know, just try to make the best of it. And like I said, cut your losses almost. Because, you know, if you think of a sword, I mean, just really just cutting through. And especially with it being the Seven of Canes, it being the Seven of Swords, you know, thinking of candy, like trying to find the sweetness in a very like bitter situation. And you know that there's something better out there for you. And, you know, I mean, you've been sort of just wanting to break free of the bad habit of settling for less. And for some of you, you know, this could have been a bad, you know, job situation. It could have been a bad relationship. It could have just been an ongoing pattern in your life. And it's like the dog days are over, you know, like the sun is coming back up and you can't see the full light at the end of the tunnel yet. You know, like you're not over the hill yet, but there's movement forward. And even if it feels really, really scary, like if you haven't actually cut your losses yet, go ahead and do it. Because even though it feels scary and it feels like super overwhelming to have to start over from scratch again, it's so worth it. Because we have 2 pages here, right? And then we have a Queen and the Emperor, which is a major arcana card. So there is major growth happening in a short period of time. And even if everything isn't wrapped up, you know, in a neat little bow by the end of December, you're well on your way. You know, like these 8 cups here just weren't cutting it. They weren't. You know, like you could do better. And with the Queen of Cups here, the Queen of Good Cheer, she's found her cup. You know, she's found the cup that was going to make her happy. And, you know, she did it through intuition, through faith. We see the crystal ball here, like it's cloudy, it's murky. She can't see everything that's going to come to pass, but she's confident. And she isn't even really looking towards this, right? She's more of looking into, you know, whatever scene is over here, looking kind of almost into the distance, right? So she knows that there are good things on the horizon for her. You know, she knows the sun is going to come up. She knows that winter doesn't last forever, right? And she feels really confident. She feels really confident, and that's through her faith, right? And so it's a month of self-empowerment, even though it feels super scary, right? Even though the unknown is, you know, kind of the thing that will keep you bound to what is safe and what is known, even if what is safe and known is quite miserable. You see with the 4 of Gifts here, this 4 of Pentacles, this doesn't look like a super happy fella, right? Like he doesn't look super happy, kind of looks like a curmudgeon. And he's clinging to these presents, right? And so here's the thing, the 4 of Pentacles is not the 10 of Pentacles, right? And so it's the same energy as this 8 of Good Cheer or this 8 of Cups. It's settling for less. And so it's like we have to be willing to part with the devil that we know. Even if the devil that we know is safe. It's reminding me of that Nirvana song, Frances Farmer Will Have Her Revenge, or something like that it goes, where he says there's a comfort in being sad because at least we know like this is as bad as it gets. And, you know, sometimes with the unknown, we're like, well, you know, this situation or this relationship isn't fulfilling. It's damaging to me in some way. It's holding me back in some way, but things could be worse. And that phrase, things could be worse, will keep you stuck, will keep you feeling stagnant, will keep you chained to something that you know isn't good for you for whatever reason. And so it's having the confidence of a page, right? Having the confidence of a child to be able to just take a chance, to take a leap of faith, to take a risk, to say it's okay to be it's okay to start over. It's okay to be a beginner at something. It's okay to take a risk. Because sometimes we need that energy. I know, when we have a tarot reading, maybe we favor seeing a queen or a king, or we favor seeing a major arcana card like the Holly King, right? The Emperor. But there is something to be said for having pages in your reading and the almost inspiring bravery, right? Because being brave and doing something stupid or reckless, doesn't really look all that different when you're seeing it in motion. And, it isn't until we see the outcome that we're like, that was really brave. So for example, because maybe I'm like confusing some of you with this, but for example, we hear these inspiring stories about someone who like hit rock bottom, they quit their job and they, left a bad marriage, and maybe other people would have said, it would have been like financially safer or smarter for you to stay in that bad marriage, because at least you had someone to split your monthly bills with, right? Or it would have benefited you to stay at that job because you had health insurance and you had a stable check, even if it wasn't that great. But if we hear that person then went on to start their own business and now they're making 6 figures a year, and then they met their soulmate and now they're happily, engaged to a new partner, we're like, wow, they were really brave. Whereas, when they were starting out, we would have said, oh, maybe that was really stupid, or maybe that was really impulsive, or maybe that was really reckless. It isn't until we see the outcome that we label it as brave or courageous. And I think that's an important thing to understand. Like, we have to be able to separate ourselves from the outcome and say, you know what, I have to have trust and faith in this moment that God or spirit or the universe, whatever higher power you believe in, even if it's just yourself, like your higher self, Spirit doesn't want me to be unhappy. Spirit doesn't want me to feel stuck and stagnant. Spirit doesn't want me to settle for less. Surely that's not for my highest good. Surely that is not my purpose. Surely I am meant for more. Surely happiness is my birthright, right? Surely I'm meant to feel some level of contentment in my life. Not to say that I'm meant to, never be challenged and never grow, but surely I'm not meant to be this miserable. Surely there's something better for me. Surely I'm meant to strive for more. And I think that mindset, that perspective, that just willingness to be brave, willingness to, kind of roll the dice here is going to pay off in a really big way. And honestly, this Sun card is also giving me 10 of Cups vibes too. For some of you, this is also tied up in love and relationships, and we will get specific love messages and career messages later in the reading, okay? I'm kind of doing this in like a free-flowing way, but we are going to get some specific messages for those areas. Okay. I think let's go ahead and find out your 2 major themes for the month of December. And I do think with December readings, they do tend to carry over sort of into the energy of the new year. So we may get some messages beyond December, and if that happens, I'm just going to go with it. Okay. Group 1, 2 major themes for group 1. In the month of December. We've already got knowledge, so we just need one more. Destiny. Didn't I say surely you were meant for more? Surely you were meant for more. There's almost this energy of like, I'm smarter than this. I'm better than this. I deserve more than this. There's a feeling of like, if I stay where I'm at, I'm wasting my potential. I have so much more potential beyond this. And I've learned from past lessons in life that it doesn't benefit me to settle for less. Personally in my own life, whenever I've walked away from something that wasn't serving me, no matter how much chaos instability, fear it caused for me, you know, in the short term. In the long term, I've never looked back and said, you know what, I should have stayed there. I should have stayed in that. I should have settled. Never have I thought that. What I've always thought is, you know what, I should have left sooner. No matter how difficult it was initially, I should have left sooner. I never look back and say, you know what, I should have stayed with that. And so I feel like that's how it is for you in December. It's like stepping into your purpose, finally feeling like you're in alignment. Repeating 8s here, I mean success. And, you know, if you think about the 8 turned on its side, infinity, knowing that you have infinite potential. And so why should you settle for less? Why would your, and I mean, I'm getting called to look at the word ancestors here, like all of the knowledge that you carry with you that you don't even realize from all of your past incarnations, from your bloodline. You were meant to progress forward. You were meant to achieve more than your parents, than your grandparents, than your great-grandparents. Whatever that word achievement means to you, because success looks different on everyone, right? Everyone has a different definition of what that means. And so it's finding that for yourself and finding a life that's going to have resonance with you. Beautiful. Okay, let's just get some more general messages here. For my group ones, Spirit, what would you like them to know? What's something that I haven't quite covered yet? Wishes. Oh, I love this. It does feel like a wish is coming true for you. And, you know, December may be sort of a building block month. Like things are being arranged. Forces outside of you. Spirit sort of intervening in your life to set things up, to propel you forward. And, you know, when that happens, sometimes it doesn't always make sense in the moment, because our perspectives are so limited, right? And so sometimes it's true what they say, like rejection is sometimes redirection. Like if you find in December you're hitting some walls in some areas or some roadblocks in some areas, or you're having some disappointments, just know that that is preparing you for your ultimate wish fulfillment here. Like whatever wish has been nearest and dearest to your heart for some time now, that's what's being aligned for you. And, you know, and for some of you, it may not be something super specific. It may just be like a feeling you want to have about your life and about yourself. And, you know, for me, like, and I'm sorry to keep referencing myself, but I want to give you guys some context. For me, what I feel like I've been chasing since, I would say maybe like 2019, has been a sense of home. A sense of home, a sense of belonging, a sense of like this place, this space, the people that I'm around, this feels right to me. And, you know, and I feel like things have been kind of rearranged to push me in that direction, even if it was uncomfortable at times. And so I feel like Spirit wants to make that clear to you, that anything you experience in December, and not to say that you're going to have a lot of setbacks, not to say that you're going to have a lot of disappointments, but should those things come up, should they arise, just know it is for a purpose to get you where you really need to be, because I think Spirit is just absolutely refusing to let you get back into a space where you are settling for less. You know, it's like once you cut your losses and you start trying to move forward, if you start to veer off that path again, Spirit's like, back over here, back over here, back over here. And so some of that redirection may feel, like I said, uncomfortable, but it's for a higher purpose. So just keep that in your mind, okay? Spirit's trying to almost like give you your flowers, you know, like this is your moment. It's time to get the recognition that you deserve. My hand slipped there. Hey, Tinker. We might have a cat cameo soon. Okay, we have the Maiden and the, I may say this wrong, Embolic Lamb. There's a real sweetness with this card. A real sweetness. Mary had a little lamb. You know, some of you may end up getting pregnant if that's something that you've been wanting, or if you are currently expecting. I feel like I'm going to get more pregnancy messages now that I'm pregnant, but if you are expecting, or if you've been trying to grow something outside of yourself, like start your own business or something like that, this is just saying you have divine support and protection for that. But I also feel like this is Spirit sort of recognizing it's time for you to get what you deserve. You know, like there's a sweetness to this wish. There's a purity to this wish. It's not a selfish wish. It's not, you know, anything that's meant to hurt others. You know, it's not a wish for revenge against someone else or something like that. There's something sweet, something so pure, something so in alignment with your soul that you were meant to experience it in this lifetime. And Spirit is almost saying like, yes, this is your destiny. This is your birthright. Don't feel almost like, yes, be grateful for when this comes, but also don't feel indebted to us because you deserve this. And they just want to make that clear to you that they are well aware that you deserve this and it is your time. And you see, like, she still has some ways to go. It's not like it's all going to be handed to you on a silver platter in the month of December. But like I said, it's a building block month. It's all preparation. It's all preparation. And it's also telling you you were well on your way. You were well on your way. Okay. Let's get one more card. I was only going to get two, but I'm feeling called to get one more. The Dance of Water. I love this for you. If there was anything you were like, well, what am I supposed to do? You know, like once I take this leap of faith, once I cut my losses, what am I supposed to do, Bethany? What next? Your guides are saying to you, flow like water. This is a month for you to surrender. This is a month for you to have faith. This is a month for you to trust your intuition, to connect with your intuition. This is a month for you to pray. This is a month for spiritual practices. It's a month for self-care. It's a month for self-restoration. It's a month for you to just go with it. So if opportunities present themselves to you, go with it. If doors are open for you, go for it. If things leave your life, if you get some no's in the month of December, go with it. Trust the flow of life. Be flexible. Keep an open mind. Stay connected to your emotions, but don't let your emotions or any anxiety that you're having, you know, don't let your thoughts rule you. Go with your gut and trust that it's all going to work out in the end. And I think also understand that there is this unlimited abundance, that there is something that is 110% meant for you. And so there should be no forcing it. And, you know, when I'm saying don't force it, I'm not saying that there isn't work involved. I'm not saying that sometimes there aren't conflicts that need to be resolved, right? But you can tell, or you will start to learn how to discern when a situation is calling for you to step up and when a situation is calling for you to walk away. And you'll start to learn the difference between what is worth your efforts and what just isn't meant for you. Because, I mean, being able to tell that, oh man, like that's that sort of knowledge, you know, that's that inner knowing, that's your intuition. And so it's not something that can be explained through, you know, logic or rationality. And, you know, sometimes you can't even put your feelings into words about it. It's just that gut feeling. It's just your intuition. It's your connection to spirit. You know, it's not in the physical, it's the metaphysical. Okay. What is your energy in December? We'll get your energy at the start of the month, and then we'll get your energy at the end of the month. So what is group 1's energy at the start of the month? And you don't have to identify as a she or a female or a woman. These cards all just say she or her, I think. Okay, your energy at the start of the month, group 1. We have she who prepares. How perfect. She who prepares, formulate, strategize, and devise. I told you, right? Like, it's a month for preparation. It's a month for those building blocks, right? And so I feel like you almost sort of sense the winds of change. You know that this is going to be a pivotal month, not just because I'm telling you now, but maybe because you have made that major life change. You have cut your losses already. And so you know there's something on the other side of it, or you're preparing to do so. What's your energy at the end of the month, group 1? She who calms. Yeah, it's almost like the calm after the storm. Stillness, purity, and quiet. And how funny is that? You know, with the Maiden and the Lamb card, you know, I said there is a purity to you. And we do associate, you know, like white with purity. You know, I'm thinking of brides, right? And so she who calms. And even she is like walking across water here, right? And, you know, you notice like all of this sort of mist around her. And then we have the owl here. We tend to associate owls with knowledge, with wisdom. And so she doesn't have to see through that dense fog to know her path, to know where she's meant to go. She has this inner wisdom she carries with her everywhere. This knowledge of her ancestors. This knowledge of, you know, everyone who came before her, all her past lives that she has led. And I mean, there's beauty to that. That looks like little peacock feathers there. There's beauty to that. And so, you know, she's walking in her faith. She's walking in her faith. And even here, like, her eyes are towards the moon, right? Intuition. And, you know, I will say this too. This is also carrying that energy of surrender with stillness. Not trying to force things. Just going with the flow. And feeling a sense of inner peace and contentment, because this right here, like, she's preparing to go to battle. And so this is like the calm after the storm. This is almost like healing this inner or outer chaos that you've been experiencing, or rather like the chaotic environment that you've been in, causing that inner turmoil, being healed, being lifted, being released. And so it's like the battle is over. And I've surrendered, like a white flag, I've surrendered. But not in a negative way. In a quite beautiful, spiritual, positive way. I've surrendered to my higher power here. I'm walking in my faith. I have trust now. And I trust in myself. You can't have trust in the universe without trusting yourself, because it's all connected, right? So there's a real beauty to that. And, you know, with me thinking about a bride here with this white dress, it's like being married, being committed to this new path, because it is within your, you know, it's in alignment with your purpose. So that commitment doesn't feel like much of a commitment at all. It feels like the most natural thing in the world. You can just fall into it the same way you fall into water. You're in flow, you're in alignment. And that's quite beautiful. Your bottom of the deck here. She who thrives, flourishing, prospering, blossoming. The butterflies here, major transformation. And so this is the energy you're carrying into the new year as well. So beautiful. So beautiful. Okay. Let's get... Where do I want to go with this? Let's get some advice cards for you for December. And, you know, Spirit, any additional messages as well. I couldn't do a December prediction without using this deck. It's so beautiful. And let me just make sure I'm still filming. I got a new phone, and so I'm just like a little bit paranoid. Hopefully the video quality is better. My husband convinced me, because I never upgrade my phone, and he's like, you know what, for the sake of your YouTube channel, I think it's time. Okay, we have contemplation. It breathes in the stillness of all that is, exhaling all that isn't. Coming from the ends of the starts and the highest of the lows, here I gasp for the answers to unfold. Give me 1 second. I love that contemplation with the number 7. You know, because when you think of the 7s in tarot, you think of weighing your options, right? And also 7 is, you know, like a holy number, right? And so I like how it says breathing in the stillness of all that is and exhaling all that isn't. Accepting what has sort of been meant to stay in your life and letting go of all that is meant to leave it, right? Being flexible with the seasons, understanding that some things are meant to have permanence in your life and some things are meant to go. Some things are meant to transition out of your life. And accepting that life will always have highs and life will always have lows. We know that from the Wheel of Fortune, right? And so if you're in a tough cycle, accept it for what it is, but know it won't last. It has to turn in your favor. And you know, sometimes I haven't been able to recognize seasons in my life that were actually really good until they passed me by. And I think that's so sad. You know, sometimes we have a tendency to fixate so much on what we think is wrong in our life that we don't even realize we're in our good times until they're gone. You know, when I think back on high school, you know, and like in some ways, like what a challenging time that was, but I had some of my best friendships that I've ever had during that time period. And I just didn't appreciate that for what it was. You know, or I've had, you know, past jobs where I had like these amazing relationships with coworkers that I still talk to today, but because there were aspects of that job that I didn't like, I didn't appreciate those connections that I had. And so sometimes it's like that. It's our own perspective cheating us out of recognizing when we are in a good cycle, because not everything in our life can be categorized as good or bad, right? We're always going to have a mixed bag to some extent, right? But I think that when we fixate on what is wrong all the time, we're always going to feel like we're stuck in a bad cycle, okay? And some cycles do last a couple years, you know? I mean, some cycles, you know, are shorter. And so, you know, it depends upon your own personal timeline, right? But I think when you practice acceptance, you're always going to have more peace in your life and more peace with yourself. And I think also if you've been trying to figure out sort of a problem in your life, some area of your life that you're not quite happy with, and sometimes it's our own relationship with ourselves, right? But whatever it is, or maybe it's multiple areas of your life, but whatever it is, stop pushing. Sit for a minute. Don't feel this urgency to solve it tomorrow. Sit with it. The answer will come to you. Sit with it. Pray about it. Ask for help. Ask for a sign. Ask for guidance. But don't feel pressured because your family or your friends or whoever is asking you, what are you going to do about this? Sometimes the answer is not taking immediate action. Sometimes the answer is contemplation. Planning, asking for help. Silent night. If by night the world should sleep, a sleep so deep the silence be deafening, there would sound nothing at all nothing would sound. Get quiet. Meditation if you can. If you're someone like me and meditation just isn't your jam, pray about it, journal about it, go for a walk outside, clear your head, get somewhere quiet away from the noise. And if you have too many people in your ears, not too many ears. If you have too many people in your ears, it gets confusing. This is not a time to ask all of your friends, all of your family members, Sam down the road, whoever, for help, for advice. It's not the time for that. It's the time for you to get quiet, for you to connect with your higher power or whatever you believe in. It's time to pray. It's time to get quiet. It's time to listen to your own inner voice. It's time to connect to your own intuition. That's what it's time for. Because, you know, as corny as it sounds, as much as we all hear this, the answer is within you. Because you know your path, you know your purpose. Your soul came here to do something. So your soul already knows what's up. That's why you were feeling all of that discomfort, that feeling of being unsettled by whatever it was that you had to cut out of your life, that you had to walk away from with that Seven of Canes or that Seven of Swords we saw in the very beginning of your reading. That was your first card. That's significant. That says something, right? That's meaningful. And literally your bottom of the deck is turning inward. So I almost feel like my group ones tend to be like my type A, go-getter, ambitious fixers, you know? And it's just not the time for that. It's just not that time for you all. It's the time to get quiet. It's the time to look within. It's the time for that contemplation. It says, inside this veil of bone and flesh, I lay my soul to sleep. All the truths within thy breath have come to greet me. You may be getting a lot of messages in your dreams because I feel like your subconscious mind is trying to give you some hints, trying to help push you forward. And if you've been super distracted during the day or trying to fix and solve everything and push forward, figure it out, it's almost like that inner voice, that inner calling, that inner knowing is suppressed. And so when you're sleeping, it all is almost like roaring forward in your subconscious mind. And, you know, I mean, you really need rest. You really need sleep. You really need to get quiet. Sit with it. And it's so hard to sit with a feeling of things being unsettled, things feeling uncomfortable, right? Because I feel like for you all, you want to feel like you have your ducks in a row. You want to feel like you have things figured out, and to sit there and to not know what the future holds, to sit there and to not know how this is all going to be resolved, to sit there and take such a big gamble and say, I don't know how this is going to turn out. I don't know. But I trust there has to be something better. I'm trusting God, Spirit, the divine to help me because I surely need it. I mean, it is scary, and I want to acknowledge that. And I feel like your guides want to acknowledge that this is so much easier said than done. They want to acknowledge that, especially when you typically have this mentality of, okay, this is a mess, I'm going to clean it up. You know, there's a problem, I'm going to solve it. You know, like you're a fixer. And so to sit there among like the broken pieces and not trying to fit this puzzle back together in a new vision, that's hard. That's hard. You know, and they're showing me like a little kid wanting to unwrap the presents that are under the tree and being told like you have to wait. We can't tell you what the reward is for all of this yet, but just know. And now I'm being like called to the box again. This is the star card in this deck, but knowing that everything that's under the tree is in alignment with the star, your wish. We got the wish card. So what is in store in your future is exactly what you've been wishing for. It may not show up in your life in exactly the way that you thought it would. You know, the path may not be as clean and tidy as you were expecting or hoping for, but you're gonna get there. And you will have that direction that you're seeking. Or how to get there will be made clear to you. And I know you're like, really? But it's because you have to go through this process. You have to go through this process, okay? All right. Let's get some love messages, and then we'll do career. So for my group 1 singles, if you're not single, you can skip ahead a little bit. But for my group 1 singles, what's going on in their love life in the month of December 2023? Group 1 singles, 1 card, please, Spirit. I got 2 cards. Oh, this is so funny. We have accept love. Past letdowns and negative experiences are hindering you from letting new love into your life. In order to experience love, you need to open your heart and embrace love. And then we also have delays and blocks. Your current love situation is being affected by delays and blocks. These blocks may manifest as a result from someone not fully opening up to a situation or facing something. This entire reading, we have been talking about practicing acceptance. And now we have open your heart and embrace love. And then it says someone not fully opening up to a situation or facing something would cause a delay or block. So if you want this delay or this block in your love life to be removed, you have to open up your heart. You have to be willing to accept and receive love and not be suspicious or fearful or avoidant or so anxious you self-sabotage, right? It's scary. It is so scary to take a leap of faith. You don't know what's on the other side, but you have to trust that there's something better out there for you. Like I left a very negative relationship earlier this year, and now I'm married. I could have never have predicted that. I never would have thought something like that would happen, period. And yet here I am. And so, seriously, this is difficult. This is hard, but you can do it. And to be open to true love requires you first to open up yourself to the possibility of getting hurt, right? Because otherwise, if you're holding back who you really are, you're hiding your authentic self because you don't want to get hurt, you can't have authentic, true connection with someone else, right? Because you're holding back, you're being avoidant. Okay, I'm gonna put these cards back in the deck, and we will get messages for my group 1 people who are in a relationship, in a committed partnership. What is their love prediction here? And we'll get a few more love messages with the Astro dice at the end of the reading. Okay. Group 1 in a relationship. Ooh, third party situation. There's a third party interfering with your relationship. This can be literally a rival or people gossiping. Family and friends may try to influence your relationship. And then we also have influencing factors. There are influencing factors at play regarding your love life. Money issues can play a role, as well as a career change in foreign countries and cultures. Okay, don't freak out about this card. It doesn't mean you have a partner who's cheating on you. And I'm really glad, actually, that I decided to get 2 cards instead of just 1, because I feel like if you were resonating in the beginning, like, yeah, I have, recently left a job or, something like that, this would make a lot of sense. Like, your career life is sort of like this third influencing factor in your love life. And so, if there is less money coming in, that can create tension, right? And so this is kind of acknowledging that, but saying essentially have faith through that situation. Like, you two will work through it. Just be aware that this could be something that potentially affects your romantic life. I will also say here, family and friends could be a big influencing factor, because I'm being drawn to this word gossiping here. And so there could be people who are influencing. And so it could be a situation like, let's say you did leave your job, maybe your mother-in-law, you know, or your boyfriend's friends or someone in their circle has something to say about that. You know, maybe they're accusing you of being lazy, or you're not pulling your weight, or something like that. So just be aware that people could be talking behind your back about your relationship, and that could create, you know, some tension, or that could even bring you two closer together if you and your partner are a united front and you stick up for each other. That can end up being something very positive. So, you know, for some of you, if you suspected your partner's cheating on you, this could be you cutting your losses with that relationship and walking away. However, if you know that you have a healthy, stable relationship, then it's probably one of those other messages that I said, okay? But as always, you know, take what resonates. I know this can be a scary card. And this could also indicate, you know, a snake in the grass, essentially. Like I said, someone in maybe your own circle who has had negative things to say about your relationship for whatever reason. And it's so hard when you have someone close to you judge your relationship, because it can often feel very left field. And so if that's the case, my heart goes out to you, because I've experienced that myself, and it can really, really hurt. Because you want the people in your life to be supportive and to be understanding of your choices. And unfortunately, people don't always understand or support the things that you do, even if it's, you know, the right thing for you. And so at the end of the day, you just have to accept, I don't need the validation from these other people. You know, I know my relationship. I know that we're meant to be together. I know that we're a good team. I know this is a healthy partnership. You know, if that's the case, don't feel the need to defend or explain. And if you need to set boundaries, set those boundaries, but you don't need to justify why you're with someone to someone else if you know it's a healthy relationship, okay? All right, group one, let's get some more tarot, and we'll get some specific career messages. Group one, career messages for my group ones. Group one, career messages, and we're gonna do all uprights. What's going on in group one's career? December 2023, group one's career. I'm only gonna take the 6 of Wands that came out on top. I'm also being called to this Wheel of Fortune. And I think we'll get 2 to 3 more cards. We have the 3 of Wands. And it's significant to note that was behind the 2 of Wands. I feel like Spirit did that on purpose to show me your progression, because I think prior to December, you were thinking about cutting your losses, thinking about making a change. But in December, there's movement forward, like we were talking about before, you actually doing it. So I'm just going to take that 3 of Wands, but I wanted to point that out. We have the 5 of Cups. Ooh, and we have the Queen of Wands. Love that. Okay. And your bottom of the deck is Two of Swords. So yeah, I mean, you've had to make a difficult decision in your career. And for a lot of you, maybe that's where you had to cut your losses. Maybe that's where you had to make a major change. But regardless, Spirit is giving you sort of like trying to instill comfort in you to know that if you walked away from something, it was the right thing to do. It was the right thing to do. And to not get stuck in this Five of Cups. To not focus on the bad in that situation. So let's say you walked away from a career situation that, you know, wasn't good. You walked away from a bad job. Don't fixate on that loss of income. Don't focus on, you know, sort of the negative things people may say about you. Or don't fixate on, oh man, now I gotta update my resume and now I gotta, you know, start applying for jobs again, and then I'm gonna have to go out on interviews and it's gonna be stressful. And, you know, don't fixate on that. Instead, fixate on the good that you get from that. You have more time to yourself. You have time now to go to interviews. You don't have to arrange it around your work schedule. You have time to maybe tidy up some things that you've been putting off, you know? Maybe you need to go to the dentist, or you need to go to the DMV or whatever. Fixate on the potential that you have to find something better. That you don't have to keep on staying at a job that was detrimental to your overall mental and emotional well-being. Fixate on the good. You don't have to see this co-worker anymore who was a really negative influence in your life. You don't have to answer to a supervisor who was really terrible and maybe verbally abusive towards you, you know, whatever the case may be. You don't have to stay at a job that was really degrading or, you know, just really damaging to your self-esteem and your self-worth, whatever the case may be, okay? Fixate on the good in the situation, not on the bad, okay? Because that bad, it's all temporary, right? Because you really didn't lose anything of value. Because it wasn't worth your time, worth your energy, worth your effort anyway. And I think sometimes we forget that because the fear becomes so overwhelming. Because money, I mean, we need it, right? So, I mean, it's understandable. But if you're going to get through this and you're going to get to the other side and you're going to get to a better place, you have to fixate, you have to focus on the future and what's next and accept what is currently, you know, the fact that you're unemployed or whatever, accept it for what it is. Okay? Now, with the Six of Wands, you are going to have success. You are going to have success. And so I feel like you need to hear that more than anything. You will have success. You will achieve your goal. You will push forward. The Three of Wands, this is going to be a new start for you. And it's something that you are creating for yourself, but you're working in tandems with Spirit. You know, I mean, this is blooming from her palm, right? So this is you transforming and creating something beautiful from your own like raw talent, from your own intelligence, your own skill set. Like, you have so much to offer. Don't forget that. Don't discount that. You have experience. You have a story worth sharing. You have talent. You have skills. Even if you don't recognize them within yourself, please do. Some of you are very highly creative people with the Queen of Wands. You may be a Leo, Aries, Sagittarius. You don't have to be, but you have talent. You do. And with the Wheel of Fortune, this was fated. I mean, if you didn't make the decision to cut your losses, eventually Spirit was going to do it for you. And so at least you were able to leave on your own terms. You were able to change course on your own terms, because if you didn't, eventually it was going to be a tower moment. And so you know, I think that Spirit is acknowledging, like, you turn this wheel for yourself. And now we're going to keep that momentum going for you. And so that's why I said it's like you and fate are working together, flowing like water. It's really beautiful to see. And so there is a whole new chapter starting in your career. Something beautiful is being planted in December, and it will grow into something quite magnificent. This flower looks like the sun. It's glowing. All these changes that you're making, you're going to be glowing. And see, look at the fish in her hair. This is the Queen of Wands. This is fire energy. But there's fish in her hair. Like you're meant to, like fire and water, like you're meant to flow like water. And you're being propelled by your own inner fire. It's really cool how your messages today are very synchronous. I love this. And for some of you, you know, your career is connected to your love life, just with Cupid being here. And so it could be a positive change that eventually comes from your career, positively influences your love life, or vice versa. Okay? All right. Let's just get some final messages before we do your Astro Dice. Group 1. We have the Lover. It is safe to surrender to the good feelings. Aphrodite, passion, and abundance. Yeah, I mean, I feel like this was for my group 1 singles to remember it's okay to surrender to love. It's okay to surrender to what makes you feel good. And if this is related to your career, it's okay to surrender and try to move in the direction of your passion, even if on the surface it doesn't seem practical. Because if you're drawn to it, you were meant to pursue it. And if you are meant to pursue it, you were meant to be abundant in it. So these things will fall into alignment for you. And the 7, again, like you have more choices than you realize. You have more potential than you realize. You have more options than you realize. You don't have to settle. I'm not underestimating my own magic anymore. I'm not underestimating my own magic anymore. The 8, infinity, potential, these numbers are repeating in your reading here. Power, beginnings, transformation. That sun on the horizon, you being on the right path. Even if it's not a straightforward path, even if there are some twists and turns, you're going to get there. You can see it. And even like with the sun card in the very beginning of your reading, you can't fully see the whole entire sun, right, in either of these images, but it's there. It's there. And so maybe you can only have a glimpse of that light at the end of the tunnel, but it is still there. Even if you can't see all of it, it's still there. And you have to let that little tiny shard of hope that you have propel you forward. You have to. Because there's no going back. That's it. When you cut your losses and you really do it, there's no going back. There's only forward movement, as it should be. As it should be. It says the alchemist, empowerment, pain, sorceress. Oh, I don't break that easy, not anymore. Instead, I use things as fuel. You see all the little bees buzzing around her? Making honey, making sweetness from a bitter situation. Lemons to lemonade. I mean, like, as cheesy as it sounds, there you go. And so there's definitely like high priestess, magician kind of energy for you in December. but you are alchemizing. You are turning a bad, negative situation into a positive. And through that, you yourself are transforming. And you see how she's chilling in like a coffee mug here. Like, you are your own motivation. Like, you are the caffeine to your own soul. Like, you are, that inner fire is pushing you forward. But she's still like kind of in a liquid, right? Like, you're still connected to your intuition. You're still in the water. And so I think there's this beautiful harmony between water and fire elements, you know, just throughout your entire reading. That's really cool to see. And your bottom of the deck, we have the sun, manifestation, power. And we started with the sun. It was the second card in your reading. And so it says, be patient. It will come. 11, 11, 11. Make a wish. You got the wish card earlier. Everything is gelling together in your reading. It's really cool. But it will come. You will be able to see the full sun. It will come. It will happen for you. Okay. Let's just get some final messages here. I want to see, for those of you who are single, some potential love interest that could come in. Maybe not necessarily just in December, but you know, whoever's meant to come in your love life next. Let's just get some potential zodiac signs here. We'll get 3 signs. Group 1 singles. Okay, we've got Scorpio, water sign, fixed water. We've got Gemini. We've got air, mutable air. Ooh, and we've got Capricorn. Okay, we've got an earth sign too. So good mix there, okay? And you know, always remember, like, for example, like my husband's an Aquarius, but he has so much earth energy in his chart. I mean, he just has Capricorn, 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 Capricorn. So it could be like, maybe for example, your next partner has their sun in Scorpio, but maybe they have a lot of Gemini energy in their chart, okay? All right, let's just get some general messages for my group 1 to end their reading. Okay, we've got the 8th house and we've got Aquarius here. I love to see this. I love to see this because we were talking about the 8 earlier, and if you turn it on its side, looking like the infinity symbol and that infinite abundance, right? That greater potential that you have, you know, your higher self trying to help you along the way. And Aquarian energy is very much like, I don't care if I'm different. I love being unique. I love being my authentic self. I care about others, but I'm not afraid to stand out. That's Aquarian energy. And I feel like this is you being okay with revolutionizing your own life, making radical changes, and being okay with it because you are trying to be true to yourself. And you know that you have the skill set, you know that you have the talent, you know that you're smart enough to pull this off. So why keep yourself small? Group 1, this was your reading. I hope that you enjoyed it. Thank you all for being patient with me as I get back into filming. And yeah, I'm wishing you all the very best. I hope December is everything you want it to be. And yeah, I'm wishing you well. Take care, Group 1. you. So we have Father Christmas or the Hermit card in this deck. We have Death. We have the Knight of Candles or the Knight of Wands. We have the Magus. I may be saying that wrong, but that is the Magician in this deck. We have the Five of Canes or the Five of Swords. We have Nine of Canes or Nine of Swords. We have the Chariot, and we have Ace of Good Cheer or the Ace of Cups. Okay, a lot going on, a lot of major arcana energy here, which tells me December is a super important month for you all. Give me 1 second, I've got to let the dog out. Okay, I was interrupted, so I'm not exactly sure where I left off, but group 2, December is going to be a really big month for you all. With how many major arcana cards we have here, there's going to be a lot of events happening, a lot of changes happening in your external environment, but honestly, there's a lot of internal change as well. So it's kind of like a month where it's like a little bit of a roller coaster, and I don't mean that to be, I don't know, I don't want that to have a negative connotation for you all, because I don't mean a lot of ups and downs necessarily. What I mean is there's just a lot going on. And so as these changes occur, it's like buckle in, you know, because even positive changes, right, require us to adapt. And so again, like, I don't want you guys to think this is starting off on a negative note or anything, but I just want to emphasize it's a big month for you guys. And for some of you, this is a lot of welcome change, you know, but let's get into it. So with the Hermit card, starting you off here, you know, you guys have been sort of on this journey or on this path of trying to walk away. And it's a little bit similar to group 1 a little bit here, but you've been trying to walk away from all that doesn't serve you, you know, and you've been just on this path of like pleasantly almost trying to seek your peace. And so, you know, if it costs you your peace, the price is too high. Like, that's been your energy. And it served you well, you know? And so I think that for group 1, there was a lot of bittersweetness. But for you all, group 2, you've been doing this for a while. You know, you've been walking away from things that don't serve you for a while now. And so for you, it's like nothing new. And you're not afraid to walk alone. You're not afraid to be on your own. You're not afraid to be independent. You're not afraid to say, I deserve better than this, and that's what it is, you know? And so for you, I feel like you are someone who's constantly evolving, constantly, you know, on the up and up, so to speak, because you're not afraid to be alone. You're not afraid to say, not my path. Let me keep moving. And so you almost have like this nomadic heart, but, you know, endings and beginnings are nothing to you almost, because with this Knight of Candles, like, you see the cycle here. You see that it's never ending, you know? And so it's like anything that gets me off my path, it's just not worth it. And there's this almost like this inner confidence within you with this Magician card, where you know if you're in a winter season now, spring will come. You know, like, you know the seasons, you know the cycles. And so, like, for you, if something has ended in your life, you're like, okay, there's a new beginning around the corner, you know. And so it's like you have this understanding that when something leaves or something ends, something better is on its way. Like, that's just how it is. And so, you know, for you, I feel like it's not to say you don't sometimes have this insomnia, this worry, this fear. But I think for you all, it's that you have this ability to ride it out. You have this ability to ride it out. And I think that is what keeps you in almost like this constant movement, this constant evolution that we were talking about. And so It could be that I'm describing things that have been almost like a consistent theme for you in 2023. It feels like there's nothing new. And that's kind of funny because I'm saying everything is new. You know, it's like everything is consistently changing for you, but you've become accustomed to it. And I think that's why I think that's why you've become so skilled at navigating how to walk away, how to embrace change, how to kind of just, again, like move with the seasons and be okay with it. And with this 5 of Canes here, this 5 of Swords, I think you've had people try to beat you down. You know, you've had people who have had malicious intentions towards you, people who were self-serving, people who didn't care if they had to step on you to get ahead. And I feel like you navigate that so well. You know, like if you've had bad friendships or family members or even romantic partners, you know, try to undermine you, I feel like you always are able to overcome that. And even if it's a self-sabotaging energy, you're able to overcome that. Even if you're your own worst enemy at times, you're able to overcome that. Because you have just become so skilled at knowing when to walk away, at knowing when it's time to evolve. And this constant, you know, with this Chariot card here, this movement forward. And you're not afraid to make the difficult decisions. You know, and even if you do have, with this 9 of Canes here, some initial fears or hesitations, you don't let that stop you. It's like, I'm scared, but I'm going to do it anyway. And you do. And that's how you're able to constantly be moving towards success. Whatever success means to you. Because remember, the Chariot card, it's like, I'm in the driver's seat. I'm taking control. And I'm going to make the choices that will bring me to a place of success. And with this Ace of Cups here, I mean, going from this place of feeling completely and totally alone, but having hope and having your own inner light guide you forward, to being in this place here of sharing, of togetherness, of having your cup be full. That's a very beautiful journey. And you're going there. You're headed in that direction. And so this could be the month where you see positive changes in your love life, positive changes in your friendships, in your inner circle, in your relationship with yourself, where you have negative influences removed from your life, even if they were your own bad habits. So I think this is a month where, yeah, you're being called to continue to be adaptable, but yet this is also a month where your cup gets filled, where you find that emotional fulfillment that you've been desperately seeking. So that's a really beautiful transition for you, Group 2. Okay, let's find out your 2 major themes for the month of December. Group 2, 2 major themes. And we're going to clear out the energy from Group 1. I always set that intention before I start the reading, but sometimes I feel called to set it again, so it must be like some lingering energy. Or maybe it's because some of you were called to Group 1 and 2, but we'll see. We'll see in the comments section. Okay. 2 major themes. Group 2. Okay, we have magical powers, and we also have strength. Strength, stability in this hour, endurance, stamina, I empower. And we have I weave and clear, I cast and know, magic secret to me now show. Okay. I feel like this is that inner confidence that we were talking about. Maybe some of you identify as being a psychic, or you identify as being very intuitive, and that's where your inner strength comes. but you all are just very confident, I feel like, in your ability to manifest. And if you don't feel that way now, by the end of December, you will. And so that tells me there are some manifestations coming to pass for you in the month of December. So if there's something you've been praying or hoping for, something you've been trying to manifest, know that that is going to come to pass in December. I'm also being called, or I'm being reminded of how sometimes we pray for strength, and the universe, your higher power, spirit, God, whatever terminology you identify with, but spirit will bring us challenging situations to show us our own strength. You know, it's like we're praying for something that we already have within us. We just have to call it forward. And so sometimes we don't know how truly strong and powerful we are until we've been tested. And I feel like for you all, group 2, you already know how strong you are, and you already have that inner confidence, and you already believe in yourself because you've been through challenging situations. Listen, like the hermit has seen some things. The hermit has been on a very long journey already, you know? And so for you to present with that energy next to the death card at the very start of your reading, I feel like spirit just wants to acknowledge that you have already shown yourself how truly capable you are. You've already shown yourself your own power. You've already lived through so much. And so if you haven't recognized it yet, please take a moment to appreciate how strong you are, how powerful you are, how very much connected to spirit you are. You know how they have those jokes on Instagram of being like God's like strongest soldier or something like that? Like that's the kind of energy you're giving off. Like you have like this warrior vibe because you have already been tested. You've already overcome so many difficult trials in your life. And so again, like if you don't appreciate that about yourself, please take a moment to appreciate that about yourself and to know that this is part of what has made you such a strong manifester and why these manifestations are coming to pass for you in December, because you have this inner strength, you have this inner confidence. I mean, to believe you can manifest something in your life takes some inner strength. It takes some confidence, right? Like you have to have confidence to believe you can pull something like that off. And you have to have confidence in the magic of the universe. And you've got both, okay? All right, let's see what your energy is going to be like in the beginning of December versus the end. We're also going to get some more information on what you're going to be manifesting in December. You guys hear my other cat chirping. Her name's Tallulah. She's doing her little chirps. Okay, group 2, your energy. She who frees, liberation, unrestrained freedom. That's the thing with the hermit, like they're walking alone, but they're completely free. You know, they're not tied to the demands of anybody. Like, yes, I'm walking alone here, but I'm walking my own path. There's no one beside me to dictate which way I'm supposed to go or to slow me down or hold me back. You know, I'm freeing myself here. Where I go from here is completely up to me. And you know, the hermit travels light. I mean, he just has, you know, this little pack on his little on his shoulder here, right? And he's just carrying this lantern. He doesn't have much, you know, like you're not overburdened. You're not too connected to certain physical material items. You know, you're not held back by this idea of what your life should look like or societal ideals. You're very much connected to your own philosophy. And so, you know, even here, like she stands alone and she's not afraid. So, I mean, you're coming into December already in a very powerful energy. Let's see what your energy is at the end of December. Group 2. She who brings the light. Balance, light, serenity, beacon. She who brings the light. Literally, Father Christmas, the Hermit card, bringing the light. How beautiful is that? So you're keeping your light. You keep your light no matter what. And I think, again, that's not something that's just a December thing for you. That's almost been like a lifelong thing for you. You know, like, I think sometimes people who have lived the hardest, most challenging lives are still so optimistic, so resilient. And it comes from that inner strength. And it's like when you've lived through the worst, what can faze you? You know, like if I survive that, I can survive anything. And to still be brave enough to hope, to still be brave enough to know that your future is bright, that's really beautiful. To still have faith, to still have connection to the divine, that's really, really beautiful. And so I think that part of this journey for you is the fact that you're meant to inspire others. You're meant to kind of stand alone on a pedestal. And that's not to say that you're better than anybody else, but it's meant to say you have something to teach other people. You're meant to have a following. You're meant to have an audience. You're meant to have people follow you. You're meant to be a leader in some capacity. You were given this amazing story to tell for a reason. You went through that pain for a reason. That pain is your purpose. You are a light worker, right? You are a symbol of hope for other people, that it does get better, that it can get better, that you can survive, you can thrive. Okay? This is big energy for December. Big energy. Okay. Let's see. I actually want to use this tarot deck. I'm going to do things a little bit differently than I did in group 1. Let's find out what you're manifesting in December, group 2. What are you manifesting in December? All uprights, please, Spirit. What is group 2 manifesting in December? We have the Judgment. Something that you karmically deserve. So your good karma is manifesting something big for you. Something you karmically deserve. What is group 2 manifesting? Now there's a lot of you watching, so I may not be able to get super specific, but let's see if we can get a little bit more information here. You have the Hermit again. What has been your hope? What's been your sun in a bottle? You know, like what have you been carrying around with you? What's the hope for your future that's closest to your heart? What has kept you going all this time? Because that's what you're manifesting. Seven of Pentacles. Yeah, I mean, this is a long time coming. Like you've been so patient. So patient. Nine of Wands. You've worked so hard for this. Yep. And that's not to say you haven't had your fears or anxiety about it, your sleepless nights about it. Nine of Swords. Six of Cups. This could be a soulmate connection for some of you. For sure. This could be something that you strived for in a past life, but you didn't quite make it. And so your soul remembers. I just keep hearing my soul remembers, my soul remembers. This could also be referring to soul family, like trying to find your soul family. My soul remembers you from a past life. My soul remembers. I just keep hearing my soul remembers. Okay. I'm not going to push it any further than that. But we do have the Six of Swords here at the bottom. Sorry, the dog's running around. And we have the Six of Swords here at the bottom. So you are moving into a better cycle. Things are looking up for you for certain. I forgot to mention group 2. You're going to see a little bit of a jump cut because I took a break to have some lunch. But anyway, so we're also going to get specific love and career messages. So we'll get to that at some point in the reading here. But let's go ahead and get some advice cards for the month of December for group 2. The advice cards for group 2 for December 2023, or any additional messages that I haven't shared yet that group 2 should know. Group 2, please, Spirit. Oh, wow. We have falling in love here. Let me move my cup over. It says, the thorn of roses rip open the heart only for thy petals to bleed into thy soul. So yes, definitely confirming the soulmate message, or even the soul family message that we were getting. Also, this could be you falling in love with your life again. And if you're already in connection with someone, this could be a deepening of your connection. Things are going really well in your love life. It could be that, you know, I think for most of you, you're probably single. But if you are in a relationship, this could be you coming into a higher level of commitment and engagement, getting married. Or it could be, yeah, just that you're in a really good space in your relationship where you're having more intimacy, more time to spend together, quality time, heartfelt conversations are being had. And so you're feeling really stable, really secure in your love life. Like I said, regardless if this is a new person coming into your life, a soulmate connection coming in, or if this is soul family, soul friendships, or a deepening of an existing connection. Love to see that for you. And we have turning inward. So there is a little overlap with group 1. They got this card as well. It says, inside this veil of bone and flesh, I lay my soul to sleep. All the truths within thy breath have come to greet me. I don't think this is anything new for you, group 2. I think you're quite adept at going inward. I think you're great at self-reflection. I think you have a lot of self-awareness. I feel like you're really connected to spirit. You probably have some spiritual practices that you do regularly, or you're aware of maybe like astrological transits or like moon phases. You know, like you're that kind of person. You know, you're just connected with nature, connected with the seasons. And so, yeah, I feel like that's nothing new for you, but I feel like spirit is saying, keep it up, you know, keep it up. And, you know, if your love life is blooming, you know, don't forget to continue to nurture that relationship with yourself. So don't get so caught up in like your love life that you forget that relationship with yourself, okay? Also, if you hear the cat, that's Tallulah. She's chirping in the background. She has plenty of food. She's just fussing because she wants more pate. We have ceremony here, and I'm gonna, I don't have anything. We'll just use these temporarily. We have ceremony. I call upon the heralds of winter, dimming light for better sight. Hear thy praise spilling from thy lips, a spell I'll cast for thy spirits in me. I mean, listen. Keep up your manifestation rituals, or if you haven't been doing them, you've been kind of neglecting your manifestation practices, get back into that. If you haven't tried it before, this is the month to try it, because you guys are master manifestors, whether you recognize it or not. Ceremony could also be indicating an engagement, a wedding, And also, I feel like when I think about ceremony, I also think about tradition. And so this could be indicating that any gatherings you have with family or friends are going to be really significant during this time, especially if you've been like really withdrawn. You know, the Hermit is quite an isolated energy. So this is encouraging you to not be afraid to spend time with others and to not feel like spending time with others is going to, you know, disconnect you from yourself. You can do both in balance. You can maintain your relationship with yourself, do what you need to do for you, and still make time for important relationships. So don't feel like it has to be an either or situation. You can have both, okay? All right, let's get some love messages. We've already kind of gotten into that a bit. Let's see, for group 2 singles, what love messages do they need to hear? Group 2 singles for December 2023, please, Spirit. Whoa, we've got intimacy. Oh, and I'm hearing a ringing in my left ear, so this one's a big one. I don't have that happen often in readings, but this is a big one. Allow yourself to become spiritually, emotionally, and physically intimate with one another. Real sensuality and sexuality aren't based on physical looks only. Your energy is what makes you attractive. Okay, so intimacy, yeah. I mean, if you're single, this is definitely an important relationship. This could end up being your life partner, but it's going to be, regardless, a transformational relationship. This is the kind of love where you're not the same, you know, like afterwards, you're just not the same, for the better. And so this is going to be a really powerful connection. And I think for a lot of you, even if this partner doesn't end up being your lifelong partner, although for many of you with the infinity symbol here, that could very well be the case. But even if they don't end up being a lifelong partner, it is a lifelong love. It's a love that you'll never forget, a love you'll always carry within your heart, and not in a bitter way, but in a sentimental, sweet way, okay? Let's get one more card. Red flags. Don't overlook the warning signs regarding the situation. Someone may act in a very negative and destructive way. Is it really healthy for you? I think the message here, well, actually 2 messages here for you all. And this isn't me glossing over this card or anything, but be mindful of when you're being overly guarded or overly suspicious. Are you reading into things? Okay? Use your intuition, but don't confuse your intuition with fear or anxiety about getting hurt. Because I think when the feelings are this intense, it can be easy to withdraw. It can be easy to avoid. It can be easy to say, this is a little bit too much for me too fast. And so if that's the case, rather than withdrawing, just communicate how you're feeling, okay? Just communicate how you're feeling. And also, kind of make sure that you are aware of when you are maybe losing yourself to the connection, overly investing in the connection and not investing in yourself. Or, like I said, the opposite, because it could play out either way, right? You could become really overwhelmed with feelings and withdraw, or you could lose yourself in the connection and be so focused on it that you neglect, you know, like your own wants and needs. And so it's all about balance with this card, being balanced, okay? Now, for those of you who are already in a relationship, let's go ahead and get your messages. So group 2, if you're already in a committed relationship, what do you need to know about your love life in December 2023? Group 2. Ooh, Jesus, way too many cards. I just want one more. There we go. Okay. So we have not for you. This situation and person is not for you. The universe wants better things for you. Rejection is the way your spirit guides you to protect you from something that is not of your highest good. Have faith that the right people and situations will come to you. This card is a confirmation that you made the right decision about someone or something. You are on the right path. Okay. Now, I know that's a heavy message, okay? And ultimately, like, you have free will. You do whatever you please. And if you're happy in your current connection, then that's awesome. But I think, honestly, group 2, most of you are single. I mean, we've gotten the Hermit card quite a bit. And, you know, similar energies to the Hermit card quite a bit. So I think most people in this group are coming into December single, or maybe dating and not necessarily tied to someone. However, if you are in a relationship, I feel like Spirit is saying this possibly isn't your lifelong person, and there is someone better for you, and there's only so far this relationship can go. Now, just because a relationship is meant to last a season and not a lifetime does not mean that it doesn't have value. Doesn't mean that it isn't worthy of your time. And, you know, there's a reason why not all of us meet our forever person on the first go. You know, maybe this person is meant to prepare you for your forever person. Maybe some of you aren't necessarily looking for your forever person, or maybe you're too young to think about a lifelong partner or marriage, you know? So I think Spirit is saying enjoy your time with this person, but know that there is someone better for you. And if you're in a space where you're in a partnership where you are unhappy, where you know things are unhealthy, where you know you're kind of settling, this is Spirit saying, listen, you can do better and you will do better. And you are well on your way towards meeting the right person. Just because this was like a karmic connection, or this was, you know, a connection that was meant to teach you a certain lesson, doesn't mean that, you know, you're being punished in some way, or you don't deserve true love or healthy love, or, you know, whatever terminology you want to use. But yeah, so yeah, I know a little bit of a rougher message, but it is pretty clear, right? And even your bottom of the deck. Speaking of the Hermit energy, here it comes again. Hermit mode. Spending some time alone and apart keeps a relationship interesting and balanced. This card also indicates time being apart or single. So maybe some of you will go through a breakup this month, or you will go through a separation, or spend some time apart from your person. But, you know, ultimately you are on the path towards this. Towards a really abundant and fulfilling connection, a really intimate, beautiful connection. So, you know, even if you're not happy with your love life as it stands now, it's not always going to be that way, okay? Okay. Let's get, I'm trying to think of what I haven't done yet, because I went a little out of order. I haven't used this deck yet. Let's get some general messages, and then we'll get career. Group 2. Anything I haven't shared with group 2 that your guides would like you to know, please, Spirit. Anything that I haven't shared with group 2 that they ought to know for December, please, Spirit. December 2023, group 2, please, Spirit. Oh, wow. Ancestors and apples. Oh, this is a really cool card. Okay. I feel like this is saying, don't feel like you're being punished here for the mistakes of your parents or their parents, or like your bloodline. Like, don't feel like because you started off with a rougher hand, because I really feel like some of you have been dealt, and pardon the pun here, but you've been dealt some pretty crappy cards in your life. Like, you know, you've started off with less than others, or you didn't come from a privileged background, or you've just had a lot of trials in your life, a lot of challenges, a more difficult life than most people is what I'm trying to say. And maybe that's a pattern that exists in your family, but don't feel like you're sort of generationally cursed, or that generational trauma that has existed will continue to persist. Like, there's an energy here of you breaking that cycle, of you learning, because when I think of apples, I think of wisdom, I think of knowledge. And so I feel like you're learning discernment too, about which is a safe apple to eat and which one is rotten and poisonous on the outside, even if it looks okay, you know, just visually looking at it. But you have like this inner knowing, this inner intuition. And so I also feel like there's several messages with this card, and I apologize if I'm kind of all over the place, but I also feel like you are so deserving of abundance, and don't fool yourself into thinking that you're somehow ungrateful if you continue to strive and desire more. You are meant to experience as low as you've been. You're meant to experience equal highs is what I'm hearing. And maybe that's why I was thinking of a roller coaster at the very beginning of your reading. Like, yes, you've experienced some very low lows, but in equal measure, you're meant to experience some very high highs. And so if you continue to want and to strive for more, don't punish yourself or feel guilty, or think that somehow makes you feel ungrateful. Because you may feel like, maybe I'm asking for more than my share, but you're not. You're not. Like, you deserve it. You are good enough. You are worthy. There is, you know, this abundance that you deserve. Sometimes the cards are slower with this deck. I'm sorry. Here we go. Oh, yeah. You guys really might be connected a little bit with group 1, because they also got this wishing card. And, you know, I do think there is a little bit of magic around December. You know, I mean, we all say over and over again, like, it's the most wonderful time of the year, right? I mean, beliefs have power, even if it's just like a silly, like, Christmas carol, right? Like, beliefs have power. And so everyone looks forward to this time of year. And so there's this collective positive energy in the air. Even if the holiday season is challenging for a lot of people, people still look forward to it, right? And so I feel like there's just this momentum. And so I think that something big is going to happen in December, and it's that manifestation. And so this is further confirmation that something big is manifesting for you in the month of December. And I think some of you have been so patient for this that you've started to question, you've started to doubt it, you started to get maybe discouraged. We got spells of rose and cacao. Okay, may have pronounced that wrong, but yeah, I feel like Spirit is saying, or acknowledging, or confirming what I just said here, that like you have been trying to manifest this for a while. You have been sowing seeds of intention for a while, and you know, this was meant to come to pass for you. Yep, now we have her herb garden, and we have her book of shadows. Like, you've done the planting seeds of intention that we were just talking about. You've kept the faith. And then on the other side of this, you've done the shadow work, you've done the healing. So you're ready. Not only are you deserving, but you're ready. Because sometimes we deserve, you know, we always deserve our blessings, right? We always deserve our blessings. But it's like, when are we going to be ready to receive it? You know? Because, you know, like, for example, we're always deserving of true love. We always deserve a healthy, happy connection, a supportive partner, a loving partner. We deserve that, right? It's not a question of, you know, like, you don't deserve it. It's not spirit punishing you, but are you ready for it? You know, because sometimes it's really hard to receive love. If you've never been given it, it's hard to receive it. You know, you may become suspicious of it, or, you know, you may be so afraid of losing it that you self-sabotage, something like that. Or, you know, you may land your dream job, but then you have imposter syndrome and you self-sabotage, you know? So it's not about a question of whether you deserve it, but a question of whether you're ready. And this feels like, yes, you're ready. You're ready. And to believe that you're ready. Don't convince yourself otherwise. Okay, let's get some career messages for you. I feel like I'm moving through your reading more quickly than group 1. But I feel like your messages were also, like, they were grand, but they were straightforward. Okay, group 2. December 2023, career messages. We'll do all uprights. Okay, we've got this Ace of Cups. We've got the Hanged Man. We've got the Three of Wands. The Queen of Swords. Okay, and your bottom of the deck is the Four of Swords. If you feel like maybe you're a student, or maybe you have been doing the same job for a while, it feels like there hasn't been a lot of change or a lot of movement with your career, or maybe you've been unemployed for a while. It feels like there's been some sort of like stasis is what I'm hearing. I'm not hearing stagnancy, I'm hearing stasis, which is interesting. But it feels like things have been on pause. And so this feels like a month where there's something that almost like you used to have this desire or this hope or this wish in terms of your career, but it's been like placed on, I'm seeing like a mantle and something just being placed on a shelf, and it's just gathered dust over time. Like you haven't revisited it. You haven't contemplated it in a while, okay? It's almost forgotten, but it's still there, right? It's still in the recesses of your mind. It's still there. But it's almost like with the Queen of Swords, you've hardened your heart towards it because you didn't think it was possible. And you're gonna have this almost like epiphany, aha moment in December where you're like, actually, that is possible. Actually, I could do that. It's almost like something that you discounted, like, that's impractical, or no, I'm not going to be able to achieve that. That's not going to work. You suddenly have this light bulb moment where you figure out how to do it, where you figure out how to make it happen, how to make it possible. And so you allow yourself, after kind of putting this dream to rest, this hope, this wish, this desire to rest in your career, where you suddenly are like, actually, I could do that. I could make that happen. And you start to go for it. And from that, you have this abundance. It's like something you thought you had given up on. You now see how to make it possible. Okay. I'll be curious to know like how that plays out for you all. We'll get some general messages now to end your reading, some like encouraging words, and then we'll roll your Astro Dice. Group 2, December 2023, final messages for my group twos, please, Spirit. We have, it's okay to forget and then remember all over again. The Voyager, returning home, lessons and realization. And we also have the 10. I mean, I feel like this is exactly what I was just talking about. Something you've forgotten and then you remember it and then you can't let it go. It has this pull over you. That's why it was never truly forgotten. It was just placed kind of, like I said, on a shelf. And then with the Voyager, I mean, you have the Chariot here, right? You're going for it. And it's something that's close to your heart. Ace of Cups, you've gotten it twice. It's beautiful. And with the 10, I mean, you're gonna be successful with it. You're gonna have abundance. 10 of Cups, 10 of Pentacles, right? We have, you don't need it. You don't need it all figured out. You don't have to have it all figured out. 20, the gifted guide. Stars, chaos, and opportunity. I think that's what's so cool about you, group 2, is that you are a very spiritual, intuitive person. You probably do have some psychic abilities, you know, in some capacity. And I think it comes from that self-awareness. It comes from that self-knowledge. It comes from all of that deep self-reflection. And it's almost like you have this understanding or this knowing of like your place in the universe and your connection with the universe. And it makes you such an empowered person. And I think that you're okay in a way that a lot of people aren't with the unknown. And that's probably what separates you from group 1. You are okay with it. I mean, the Hermit, again and again in your reading, walking through that dark night with just a lantern to guide you, alone. That's a strong, powerful person that takes incredible strength, and you've done it so many times. And so, you know, this is acknowledging you have this gift, and part of that gift is that you are okay in the unknown, and in fact, you flourish in it. You flourish. And so I feel like it's your understanding of almost like the cosmos here that really benefits you. It really does, because you take risks, you take chances, you dare to dream or dare to have hopes that other people just wouldn't, even though you've had this difficult, hard, challenging life. And that's so incredibly beautiful. I'm sorry if I'm stumbling on my words here. I'm starting to lose my voice. Energy. Call your energy back to you. Power, aura, depletion. I think that's part of your strength too, is that you're not afraid to go into hermit mode. So many people see the hermit card and freak out, but you're not afraid to go into hermit mode. Like, when you're in hermit mode, it's like welcoming back an old friend. You're okay to sit in your own energy. You're okay to sit with yourself. You know yourself. You understand yourself. There is a self-love here that runs so deep that to be by yourself doesn't feel lonely. And that's incredibly powerful. Incredibly powerful. You have a respect for your own energy. You guard your peace. You protect yourself. You're at home with yourself. That continues to be your power. And I think that if you've had moments where you've had a disconnection from that, in December, you are coming back home to yourself, coming back to your own energy. Sometimes I think you have very much like mystic energy, group 2, and I think sometimes the external world gets to be a little bit too much for you. you know, the rigid rules and structure and things like that, because you were so guided by your own inner philosophy. I think you need those moments of self-restoration. You need those moments to recharge. And I think December is going to give you moments and opportunities to do just that. And I think it's going to be very welcomed. Okay. I want to get first some zodiac signs for my group 2 singles, so potential zodiac signs for new love interests, okay? Group 2 singles, future love partners. Okay, that's funny. We've got Scorpio. Scorpio, I believe, was also the first sign for group 1 singles as well. That's interesting. So that's fixed water. Okay, we've also got Pisces here. So more water. More water. It'd be funny if your third one is Cancer. Oh my gosh. And your third sign is Cancer. I hope you like water energy, group 2, because if you're single, your next partner in love could very well be a water sign, because you got Scorpio, Pisces, and Cancer. Okay, that's hilarious. All right, now we're just going to get some general messages to end your reading here. So for all group 2s. Okay, we got the 11th house and Cancer again. Ooh, I love this because Cancer is very internal. You know, Cancer is very much connected to their own emotions and that connection to the moon and being connected to the cycles. And Cancer has a very cozy, homey kind of energy, right? And then we have the 11th house. And when I think about the 11th house and I think about Aquarian energy, I think about change. I think about technology. I think about the outside world, the collective, the majority, and all of these progressive changes that happen in greater society. So I like that balance between the internal and the external here. And so I think that that's the push and pull you're kind of balancing in December, is finding your place in the, you know, greater society, finding your place in the right interpersonal connections, whether they're romantic or friendship or, you know, in your career, business relationships, versus your relationship with yourself and managing that. So I love that balance for you, group 2. All right, group 2, this was your reading. Thank you so much for letting me tap into your energy today. I appreciate it so much, and I'm wishing you the very best December. I know these were some larger messages. We didn't get a lot about like your day-to-day, but you had so many major arcana cards that I kind of expected that. But anyway, I hope you can appreciate this reading for what it was. And as always, I'm wishing you the very, very best. Take care, group 2, and I will see you in my next one. Hi group 3, last but not least, welcome to your December 2023 prediction. Okay, so I will say if I'm sounding a bit hoarse, I'm sorry. I've already filmed the other 2 groups, so my voice is feeling it. We're starting off here with the Hierophant. We have Justice, we have the 10 of Gifts or the 10 of Pentacles. We have the King of Gifts or the King of Pentacles. We have the Child or the Fool card. We have the 4 of Canes or the 4 of Swords. We have the King of Good Cheer or the King of Cups. And we have the 6 of Candles or the 6 of Wands in this deck. Okay. Wow. It's really like the first thing that I was drawn to when I was laying out your cards here was the fact that Justice is right next to the 10 of Gifts or the 10 of Pentacles. And it's really funny because the Justice card in this deck depicts this little boy opening up a present and it's filled with coal, right? Justice. And then having it next to the 10 of Pentacles where this little boy is being given a really nice gift, right? They're not opening coal in this card. It's the 10 of Pentacles. It's the card of material abundance, right? And so I feel like Spirit is saying karma does what it needs to do. Karma will always do what it needs to do. So group 3, what karma is owed to you and what karma is owed to the other people in your circle, in your life, other people kind of in your sphere of influence, or people who are influencing you, whichever way, karma will do what karma needs to do. Good or bad, however you want to categorize it, karma will do what it needs to do. And so I feel like with you having the King of Cups, the King of Pentacles here, and the 6 of Wands, for you, don't concern yourself with whatever karma is owed to whoever in your life. Don't concern yourself with it. Anyone that has hurt you, that has wronged you, that has treated you so poorly, don't concern yourself with it. Because the abundance that is coming in for you is so beautiful, is so wonderful. Why spend an ounce of your time being concerned with someone else getting essentially like their just desserts? I mean, you're going to be in such a good place by the end of December. It's like you can afford to be gracious. You can afford to be forgiving for your own mental and emotional well-being, because it just feels, I guess, almost so inconsequential, because you're in such a good place by the end of December that any emotional baggage that was weighing you down from those past hurts, betrayals, whatever you want to call them, just don't feel like they matter as much. And it's amazing what time can heal. Amazing what time can heal. And I'm seeing that here with the 4 of Canes. I don't feel like, for a lot of you, this is something you've been carrying around for a while. These wounds run deep. I keep hearing these wounds run deep. For some of you, maybe it is more recent. But I think for a lot of you, with these canes being in front of this grave here, it's like you've had time to mourn the ending of those relationships or those betrayals, those hurts, those wrongs that were done to you. You've had time to mourn them, and now it's time to lay them to rest. Because when you have so many blessings coming in, why focus on everything that was done wrong to you, or every way that you were betrayed, or every way that you were hurt in the past? Why focus on that when there's so many good things coming in? Why focus on that? Why weigh yourself down with it? And so I feel like you're in this space where you have healed, where you have forgiven. And you know, it's the thing with, I think, forgiveness, or the thing with healing is that it isn't a destination. You know, it's not a place that we arrive. It's not a level that we achieve. It is something we have to continuously, intentionally practice in the same way that we practice self-care, in the same way that we have to take care of ourselves mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually every day. It's the same thing with forgiveness and healing. And so it's not like you're checking off a box on a list, right? It's not like that. But it is a place where you can feel more free from it. You can feel more free. And it doesn't mean those old feelings of anger and resentment and betrayal, whatever it was, heartbreak. It doesn't mean that those feelings don't sometimes come back up. But now you're in a place where you can cope with them. And now you have so many blessings that it just doesn't sting the same way that it used to. And I think that's really beautiful. I think this is a month of closure for a lot of you. It's a month of closure, and it's a month of embracing the new and being excited for a new chapter. With the Child here, the Fool card, I mean, you have so much to look forward to. You have so much to look forward to. And with the Hierophant being here, I feel like you're in this place where you've gone through so much like emotional up-leveling. You've gained so much emotional maturity and intelligence that you have knowledge to share with others. And I feel like as well, you're in this place where you feel a lot less constrained. You just feel more free, more excited, more open. And with this King of Cups and this King of Pentacles, these could represent people in your life, good people coming in, possibly new love interests. We'll get more specific love messages later. They could also represent you though, and you being in an empowered state, you being emotionally in a really great place, but also financially in a really great place. Just feeling secure within yourself, feeling really stable, feeling like things are moving in a positive direction. We have these little images here of the sun repeating. And there's this warmth to your reading. And there's a feeling of like togetherness, a feeling like you now have good people around you. Even if it's just a few people, it's good people, lasting connections. And I feel like this is a smaller message, but I feel like you have more time for your hobbies. You have more time for things that just make you happy. And you have a little bit of extra money to spend on those things as well. I also feel like you're going to be spending more time with your pets. If you have any, you're going to be able to spend more time with them. And I feel like if you had a lot of trouble in the past, feeling like you had a sense of belonging, I feel like that's something that's being healed for you. Okay? Let's get into your overall themes here for the month of December. We'll get 2 cards to represent the 2 major themes in your life, group 3 for December. Whoa, that came out so fast. Hold on, it fell on the floor. We have beauty. And we have confidence here. Yeah, I feel like you're glowing. You are glowing in December. And I think a lot of this comes from you feeling like things are starting to go your way. And because you're not so stressed, you're not so burnt out anymore, you're not so bogged down by that emotional baggage, you seem lighter, you seem happier, you're smiling more, you're taking care of yourself, you're not feeling, if you've been feeling depressed, you know, those feelings are starting to lift a bit. You know, with that 4 of Canes, it's like things are finally being laid to rest that need to be laid to rest, you know, and It's not to say you won't ever revisit those feelings, or, you know, they won't come up again at some, you know, some point in the future, but you've learned how to cope with it now. You've grieved the losses that you needed to grieve. And so because of that, you are showing up more beautiful in your life, more attractive, because you're not so weighed down. You're taking better care of yourself, and you're feeling good about yourself. And when you feel good internally, I mean, it's reflected in your external, right? And so people can see it. People can see it in your physical appearance. People can see it in your almost like receptivity to good things, to good people. They can see it in your aura, in your energy. You seem more confident. You don't seem so weighed down. Your energy isn't so heavy anymore. Okay. And this could also be positively influencing your love life, right? Like if you're feeling lighter, you're feeling more free, you're feeling more confident, that's going to make dating a lot easier, right? If you're single, or even if you're in a committed partnership, you're going to feel a lot better in your relationship because you feel better with yourself. Your relationship with yourself has improved. And if your relationship with yourself is bad, that's going to influence your ability to connect with other people, right? So to see this healing, to see this improving for you is really awesome. Okay. And also too, you know, I wonder if some of you are going to pick up a hobby that involves beauty or like physical fitness or health or something like that. And that's part of this glow up that we're seeing, for like lack of a better term. It even says, let my confidence take light, burn brighter. I mean, yeah, you're glowing in December for sure. Okay, let's see. Let's get your energy at the start of December versus your energy at the end of December. Group 3, your energy at the beginning of December. We've got she who whispers, secrets, confessions, and confidant. You actually got 2 cards. It also says she who sees, observe, perceive, and scrutinize. I like this a lot in combination with one another, because I feel like you're someone, because you've been hurt. I feel like you all have been really, I feel like you guys have been burned by a lot of people in your life, or you've had someone that you really, really trusted, or someone close to you, like a family member, really hurt you or betray you in some way. And I feel like that's made you a very good judge of character. And it's made you someone who really observes the way that people move. You don't decide whether you trust someone by their words. You watch their behaviors. You look for their intentions. And so that makes you a great judge of character in a way that, you know, most people aren't necessarily as discerning. And so I feel like you're able to kind of suss out, you know, who is worthy of your trust and your time and your effort and who isn't. And I feel like you, in turn, are someone who is very trustworthy, someone who can keep a secret, someone who is non-judgmental, someone who is kind. And so, you know, it's like you know how to be a good friend or a good partner, or, you know, a good family member, a good work colleague, and you're really good at judging those. And when I say judging, I don't mean judging it. I mean discerning, let's say that. You're really good at discerning who isn't, okay? And so I feel like, you know, coming into December, you're still a little bit, I wouldn't say guarded, but you are quite protective of yourself in December. And nothing's getting past you. You know, at the start of December, nothing's getting past you. So, you know, anyone that is still trying to deceive or, you know, harm you in any way, you're seeing right through, their deception. Your energy at the end of December, group 3. She who persists, perspective, defiant, and persistent. You know, you're resilient, group 3. You're very resilient. And I feel like you are the type of person who could have been burned so many times in love and still will believe in like soulmates and romance, and still carries, you know, the faith that there's someone out there meant for them, you know, that kind of thing. Like, you still believe in the goodness of people. You haven't totally lost your faith in humanity. You know, you still believe in friendship. You still believe in family. You still believe that connection is important. And I think that's a really beautiful thing. You know, you're not someone who gives up easily. Okay, now we're going to get some general advice cards for your month of December, and also just any messages that Spirit wants to share with you that I haven't covered yet. Group 3, advice, general messages for December 2023, group 3. Oh wow, we have gatherings. Gather, gather, festive witches, speak of joy and drink to wishes. Take one, give two, celebrating all blisses. This is making me think of that 10 of Pentacles here, because yes, this is a card of, you know, material abundance, feeling comfortable, right? But it's also a card of family, of togetherness. And it doesn't have to be biological, you know, like blood family. It can be found family, soul family, friendships, right? Whatever family means to you. But the 10 of Pentacles always depicts a family, and it always even includes a pet. And so I like to see this continue for you, because I feel like, you know, if you've been hurt a lot by other people, to see in December you having these like happy gatherings, to see this sense of togetherness, the sense of connection that is healthy, that is good, come into your life. And to feel safe in that space, to feel like you're around people who want good things for you, who genuinely support you, who care about you. To see that be a theme for you is really beautiful. It's really nice. And you know, if you've just had, maybe you're someone who's been unlucky in love, right? And I think this would be kind of encouraging you to appreciate and recognize that you have good friends around you, family around you. Or maybe you've had family that's really hurt you, but you have good friends, right? So just appreciating the good people in your life that you do have, whether those connections are romantic or family or friends, but appreciating those good relationships, including, you know, your relationships with your pets, if you have any, okay? And if you have been isolating a lot, this is encouraging you to be more social. We have feasting. Let us feast upon the nourishing and be thankful for thy feast, nor here or there, yet everywhere it be. Yeah, I feel like there's just this warmth to your reading, group 3. I feel like, you know, there's going to be shared meals with other people. You know, you're going to be making new traditions. You're going to be enjoying moments with other people, making memories with other people. I feel like that's the highlight of your December, are those connections with others. And it may be one new significant relationship entering into your life. It could be time spent with family, friends, but whoever it is, whether it's one person or a group of people, appreciate those moments. And hearing those, that's what's priceless. And you deserve it, you know? Oh wow, you had She Who Persists, right? And now you have Perseverance. I like to see that continuity for you. It says, stay in thy power, dear child, for thy lonely is never alone. When the world is dreadful upon thy, turn to the spirits within thy. Yeah, I mean, listen, if anyone deserves to have good people around them, good energy around them, it would be you, group 3. I mean, I feel like you've just been hurt so badly, and yet you still have this beautiful open heart. You still did your inner healing. You still forgave who you needed to forgive. You still let go where you needed to let go. And I feel like Spirit really wants to applaud that and really wants to recognize that and say December is a turning point for you, where you can trust, where you can be open, where you can spend time with others, where you don't have to feel so lonely, where you can feel safe and protected and comfortable with the people around you. And even if it's just one person that you're forming a new connection with, and it's not a group of people, that one person can connect you to so many more people, you know, whether it's their family or their friends or, you know, whatever. But it's like, it can start with one person, it can start with one connection and build from there. You know, it's about you getting out of your comfort zone. Okay, let's get some specific love messages now. We'll start with singles. Group 3 singles, what do they need to know about their love life in December 2023? Group 3 singles. Okay, we're not going to take all those, but we'll take this one. And we'll get one more card. Perfect. Oh, this is interesting. A choice to be made. It says one more try versus different paths. So one more try, give your relationship another chance. This card is a sign that a connection is not over and that both parties still have a path to go together. It is worth fighting for this love. Versus different paths. You and this person are no longer on the same page. What you want in life may differ from what they want. It's time to face it. The road ahead is still with this person, or if it's better to move on to something new. Okay. Being called back to this King of Pentacles and this King of Cups. Okay, my singles. And remember, when we talk about kings, it's just talking about divine masculine energy. It's not necessarily talking about gender here. There's a choice to be made in December for my group 3 singles. So you could have an ex who's coming back into your life and wanting to have a new start with you. And it may not have been someone you were in a relationship with. It may have just been someone you dated or a situationship, someone like that. Or maybe someone who rejected you in the past is coming back up. It could be this King of Pentacles. It could be this King of Cups. Cups refers to water signs, Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces. Pentacles, earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, if that makes it a little bit more clear to you. But there's also someone new coming in who could offer you a different path, a new love interest. So you may be faced with a choice in December. And even if your ex hasn't come back up, this could be signifying, are you going to go back to dating the same type of person? Or are you going to be open to a new type of person? So maybe you typically, let's say just for example, maybe you typically go for a King of Pentacles type of guy or woman. Maybe that's the type of person you typically go after, okay? And now you're like, I've dated that sort of person before. You know, someone who's really practical, someone who's super grounded, someone, you know, who's really focused on material things. And maybe now maybe I should try someone who's more emotionally sensitive, someone who's more intuitive. And so you start to open yourself up to a different kind of person. Because some of us date the same person over and over again, just in a different body, right? Or you may have a friend like that. You're like, yeah, they kind of always date the same type of guy, you know. And so this could be you trying, you know, a different type of person, and being open to that. Or it could be actually two love interests, right, who are competing for your attention here. And this isn't telling you which way to go. They're just telling me there's a choice to be made here. And, you know, whatever you choose, trust your judgment. Because we've already established that you have really great discernment, that you're a really good judge of character because of your past experiences, group 3. So trust your own judgment with this. This was really cool how they laid this out for you. And I like that they presented it like this, because I feel like your guides are so confident in you, so confident that you'll make healthy, good choices for yourself, that they don't have to tell you which way to pick. They feel like you already know the answer, even before the situation has presented itself. Okay. All right, so let's get some messages for my group 3s who are in a committed relationship. What do they need to know for December 2023? That came out so quickly. We have Soulmate. And then your bottom of the deck is Commitment. So cute. So cute. We have, yes, this person is your soulmate. There is a strong spiritual bond between you and this person. This card also pertains to new friendships with kindred souls and attracting the right people. And then we have Commitment. This card signifies an engagement, marriage, or that both people want to commit to a serious relationship. This card also pertains to a stable relationship coming your way. So maybe you're already married to this person, but if you're not, this could signify an engagement, a proposal, or maybe you're getting married in December. But I feel like Spirit just wants to give you reassurance that yes, this person is your soulmate. You know, you guys are compatible with one another, and you know, you really can have a lifelong partnership if that's what you choose. So I feel like Spirit's almost like co-signing your connection and saying, yep, you got a good one. Good job. Okay. Beautiful. And it could also obviously, with the Commitment card, represent a deepening of your connection, and that, you know, you guys are going to have time to spend together, especially with gatherings. So maybe you're going to go travel and you're going to get to spend time with their family, or maybe you're going to meet their friends, you know, that kind of thing. Did I get, oh, I don't think I got career messages for you all. I'm sorry. I thought I was forgetting something. Okay, group 3, let's get messages now about your career in December 2023. Messages about your career. We've got the Tower, we've got the Lovers, the Four of Swords, and the Devil. And your bottom of the deck is the Star card, which is actually the card that comes after the Tower. So I really like to see that for you all. Okay. So in December, because the Lovers can also talk about a choice, a decision that has to be made. So in December, for some of you, you may be choosing to quit, to put in your notice for your job. You may, if you're in school, for example, decide that you're going to take some time off, switch your major, but there's some kind of decision or choice that you're making. And even if you end up choosing to stay or to not change, I feel like if you go that way with the Tower card here, there's going to be some divine intervention that pushes you towards a change. And that can look like different things. But I think ultimately here with the Devil and the Tower, there's something in your career that's not sustainable for whatever reason. And it may be that it's negatively impacting your love life, or that it's negatively impacting your peace, your mental health, your emotional well-being, and it's just not good for you. And for some of you, it could be that maybe you're a workaholic, or you're burning yourself out, or there's something unhealthy about your job. Like maybe it's too stressful, the workload is too high, and so you neglect your self-care, or it's a really toxic work environment, and it just weighs on your spirit. But there's something about it that's not healthy, that's not sustainable, and it's gonna end. And it's whether you choose to end it or spirit intervenes in some capacity. And if you're in school, it could be that you're in a major where it's just too competitive and it's too stressful and it doesn't make you happy and you're miserable. And or maybe you're at a university where you just don't connect, you don't fit in, you don't feel like it's the right place for you, and so maybe you decide to transfer. The energy and the culture at one college campus can be totally different from another campus, so it could be something like that. I'm just throwing out examples to get you guys thinking about how this could apply to like your specific situation. But ultimately here, something isn't sustainable, something isn't healthy, and something here is keeping you chained in a really detrimental way. And so this change that comes about in your career is going to be something that ultimately brings you to what you wish for, what you hope for. So even though it's going to feel like you go through this period of instability and where you're not sure how everything is going to come back together, there's almost this energy of like things have to fall apart to be put back together the right way. Like if something's broken because it was put together with faulty parts, you have to take it apart to put it back together again the right way so that it can work. And so the same way when you clean out your closet, it looks worse before it looks better. Things are going to get worse. I'm not going to lie to you. Things are going to get worse before they get better. But the payoff is going to be so great. And so I feel like Spirit is encouraging you through this process. Lean on the positive support that you have in your life. Ask for help. Ask for emotional support. And you have good people in your life, or at least one good person who will support you through this process. And it's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult, but ultimately it's going to be worth it. For the Star card, that's wish fulfillment. So to make some wish in your career or in your studies come true, something has to fall apart first. Something's got to give. Okay? So just stay with the process. Lean on the people closest to you. Okay. Let's get some encouraging words here from Spirit for December 2023, and then we'll roll your Astro dice. We have, you can let go now. Surrender to what is, acceptance, letting go, water, and non-resistance. Yeah, go with the flow. I feel like this is Spirit encouraging you to keep your heart open. Keep your heart open. Because you can trust your discernment. You can trust your own judgment. You know who to open your heart to. You know who is a safe space for you. So don't be afraid to be emotionally vulnerable with the right people. And trust your own judgment. We have Dark Night of the Soul, Transformation, Awakening Tower. Yeah, I mean, I feel like you have been through this. I feel like, what does this say actually? She dug until she caverns and found her, I'm sorry, I was reading it the wrong way. She dug caverns in her heart until she found the light. So I was like, wait a second, that sentence doesn't make sense. Okay. I love this. I feel like this is Spirit, again, just recognizing and applauding the spiritual journey that you've been on, the healing journey that you've been on. I feel like you've already been through this. I do feel like, you know, there's still some tower moment obviously happening with your career or your studies. But in terms of your social connections, your love life, your interpersonal relationships, that area of your life is solid. And be proud of yourself for your personal transformation. We have Yin and Yang. I am in divine flow and move in alignment. Unity, balanced energy, and manifestation. Yeah, I mean, you, I think, are a good balance of the masculine and the feminine. And I feel like, you know, you're at harmony. Well, you're in harmony with yourself. I think there's a lot of self-love, a lot of self-acceptance. And it was hard-earned. You know, you weren't born that way. You know, like, you worked for that. I feel like it's really beautiful that you've come to that place of acceptance of self. And we have Call Your Energy Back to You, Power, Aura, and Depletion. I feel like you just naturally are good at this now because you've had people prey on your energy before. You've had people, you know, suck up all your energy and leave you for dead, essentially. And I feel like now you are able to recognize when that's happening and you're able to protect yourself. We have Emotions, Alchemy, Processing, and Sensitivity, honoring the flow of all the emotions. I feel like you don't judge yourself anymore. You know, like if you're feeling sad or you're feeling angry or you're feeling afraid, you don't judge yourself. You know, you observe your emotions, you accept them for what they are, you feel them, you give yourself grace. You know that you're a soul having a human experience, you give yourself grace. You feel what you need to feel and you let it go. And you're not overburdened by it. And I feel like you're just in this really healthy space. You know how to self-regulate your emotions. You know how to almost like cope with the human experience, you know? And that's such a powerful place to be in. And I feel like that's why your relationships with others are becoming so healthy and so stable and so grounded, because you have done all of this inner healing, you've done all of this inner work, and it shows. It shows. Okay, first I'm gonna get some zodiac signs for my group 3 singles to see who could possibly be coming into your life. I know we already have the King of Cups and the King of Pentacles here, so earth and water signs, but we'll see what comes up. Okay, we have Taurus, so definitely that's that King of Pentacles. Let's see, we have Aquarius. Now this is an air sign, so Aquarius energy. This also could just be signifying someone different, because when you think of Aquarian energy, I think of, you know, like revolutionary, right? Someone that could be different, you know, than your usual type. Oh, Aquarius energy again. Yeah, so I feel like this is more so than an Aquarius person. I feel like Spirit is saying whoever you are with next, if you choose to, date someone new, they'll be very different than your past partners. I feel like that's the message here. Not necessarily an Aquarius person, just that they'll be very different than your past partners. Okay. Now we'll just get some general messages for group 3, and that will wrap up your reading. Okay. I feel like Scorpio energy has come out a lot today. We have Scorpio and we have the 4th house. Okay, Scorpio energy is very transformative, and it's associated with the occult. It's associated with very deep emotions, and Scorpio can be quite secretive, right? And it's fixed water. And then we have the 4th house of Cancer. It's warm, it's cozy, right? And so I like the dichotomy and yet also the similarities between these two signs. Or, well, Cancer being associated with the 4th house, and them both being water signs. So I feel like, and I'm sorry to harp on this, but I feel like your connection to your own emotions is like your superpower in December, like your own understanding of your emotional world and your own inner world is so beautiful. And you're feeling at home with yourself. And I feel like you have this sense of home and belonging with the people around you, and that's very transformative. I don't feel like that's something you've had before. And I feel like, those things that you kept deep and kept hidden, you're not afraid to bring them out now. You're not afraid to talk about them. You're not afraid to be emotionally vulnerable anymore. And the things that you were almost frightened about yourself, like, these feelings are so deep and so heavy, so I gotta push them down. And now there's this feeling of liberation. And now there's this feeling of almost like ownership. Like I'm owning how I feel. And I'm owning that I have a right to feel how I feel. And I'm not afraid of it anymore. And, I'm learning to feel at home even in those uncomfortable, quote unquote, undesirable emotions, right? Like anger, fear. And I feel like you now feel so at home with yourself that you are no longer seeking so desperately for a sense of belonging. And because you're not seeking it so desperately, it somehow finds you, it comes to you. Because it's within you. If that makes any sense. You don't have this feeling of desperation anymore. And I feel like, you're in this place of just really loving and appreciating yourself. And because you're in that space, all of your connections with other people are improving because you're showing up differently. All right, so group 3, this was your reading. I hope it resonated. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for letting me tune into your energy today. I'm wishing you the very best December. And I'll see you guys in my next one. Please take care. second group.
I couldn't hear you until I walked out here and I was like, oh shoot.
It's okay.
Did it ruin your video?
Huh?
Did it ruin your video?
I mean, I can cut all this out, honey.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, you getting in the shower?
Yeah.
Got your old man glasses on?
Darn tootin' I do.
Each reading's gonna be about an hour because group 1 was an hour. You know, before I cut it down a little.
Okay. You got an espresso fountain?
No, unfortunately. You can use the new...
It's a spooky one.
You don't say it's spooky. Don't say group 2 spooky.
What?
You want to use the new coffee machine?
What is it, this?
Yeah, so cute.
There's a little pouch or something there?
You can use a coffee filter or you can use the little net thingy.
Yeah, sure. I'll use it when I get one done.
Okay, alright.
Love you.
Love you.
Is it okay if I text you? It's not gonna mess up your thing?
Text me what?
Like saying like, hey, come down here.
Just come down here
Okay.
and then I'll cut it.
Thank you.
Okay.